This is KXLY TV, ABC4, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene. Now, from the largest broadcast news team in the Inland Northwest, this is Total News 4 at 11.
These so-called low-life prostitutes that they talk about need to be looked at as human beings.
But there isn't much respect for the women who work the Spokane streets. A special News 4 undercover investigation shows you the grim reality. Tonight we take an in-depth look at women who work the streets of Spokane. They are prime targets for a serial killer that's still on the loose. They live in fear on nights like this.
Well, for nearly 2 months now, Total News 4's Deborah Armstrong has been talking with these women who are still willing to risk a date with death. And she's live on East Break tonight with our story. Deborah?
Mark, this is where many of Spokane's Johns come to spend their money. And the women stand on street corners like this one, hoping to make a few extra dollars. The other night I came here with photographer Scott Stoneback, and we talked with some of these women while they were working the streets. Tonight's Total News 4 investigative report takes a very revealing look at what goes on here. We warn you, you might find it disturbing.
Everybody is terrified because they don't want to be the next person.
Somewhere, a serial killer's loose, and fear has made East Sprague a lonely place at night.
In the summer it might pick up. I don't know.
I talked with Rhonda out on Sprague last week.
Aren't you scared yourself?
Yeah, I do get scared.
She's so scared she wouldn't show her face on camera, and we're not using her real name.
I prefer to stand against the wall, inside the door or something. That way I know that there's nothing coming from behind me.
Many of the women murdered were her friends.
Kathy Brisboe, Yolanda Sapp. I knew some of those girls. I saw Kathy 2 weeks. 2 weeks before they found her body.
But Rhonda still roams the street.
And I've been waving at him since he's been rolling by. He still ain't found. There's another girl.
And works the Johns.
Here I am, 33. I'm still out here. I don't want my daughter to be, 12, 13, and find out her mom is still going out on Sprague.
She was a child herself the first time a man used her.
I've been molested.
Now she's an adult who chooses to sell her body.
To me, it's a job. I mean, that's just the way it is. To me, it's just a job.
Out here, there isn't much pity, and there's even less protection. But even as a killer may be watching these streets, Rhonda tries to watch over her friends.
Last night she was out here by herself for a little while, and I told her to call me every half hour just to make sure I was okay. Every half hour. If she didn't have a quarter, call me collect. I just wanted to know that she was okay,
But a pager is a poor defense against a killer. As police hunt for a suspect, Rhonda keeps taking chances by taking dates. She doesn't ask people to respect what she does. She only hopes they'll respect her in spite of what she does.
So what was your name, Jack? She's riding by us and pointing fingers and shouting obscene remarks. They could ride by and look at that girl and say silently to themselves, God, please let her get home safely tonight.
Every single time one of those girls gets into a car like that, she's risking her life. But why? Well, I asked them, and tomorrow on News 4, we'll hear what they had to say. Mark?
Deborah, a lot of the victims' families have said the public really needs to see these women as people, as human beings. I think you really did that in the piece tonight. You've spent a lot of time with them, Deborah. Is that what they want people to get most out of your story?
It really is. And while I was standing out here the other night, somebody drove by and cussed obscenities at us. And it makes me wonder, that kind of an attitude out there, if that's not something that would allow someone to think he can get away with murdering people like this.
All right. Thank you for your report, Deborah, and we'll look forward to the next part tomorrow night on Total News 4, live at 6.
And tomorrow we may find out if the body found last weekend is another victim of this serial killer. We may also find out the identity and how that person died. At this point, detectives are not saying whether the body is one of these three missing women, Linda Mabin, Jessica Fitzgerald, or Sunny Oster. If you have any information about these women, you're asked to call Crime Check.